Alright guys, it's Shawnee and Jack back with another video for the Next Rank YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that we've seen a lot over the years, especially recently, and we've even had a couple of questions in the Next Rank Discord. Join the Discord if you haven't already, by the way, link in the description. But yeah, a couple of questions relevant to free play and ranked and how to use both of those to improve in Rocket League. Apologies if I've got your name wrong, but Shafty? There's a 7 in the name, and I'm going to imagine that's supposed to be a T. Shafty, I'm going to call you Shafty, wants to know how to improve as fast as possible, what ratio of free play and ranked to use. And then we also have another question in the Discord from AJ4, wondering what are you supposed to actually be doing in ranked, and if you're on a losing streak, how to manage that, etc., etc. We're going to go into all of that in this video, talk about what Jack does to improve in free play and ranked. But Jack, you mentioned to me that you've seen a lot of these questions in Twitch chat, just in general.
Yeah.
These are common questions. Free play, ranked. What are we supposed to be doing to not just turn it into a mindless activity?
Yeah.
What kind of questions do you see?
Yeah, it's questions like that, exactly like you said. What do I need to be working on? How and the big question, like how much free play compared to ranked do I need to play? Like the ratio. A lot of people talk about how long they need to be warming up in. Do they need to warm up in free play? Training packs, workshop maps, what is all these training methods that I need to be doing to get the most out of my time? So it's a lot of stuff like that. And then a few kind of like ranked specific questions like, do I need to kind of stop playing when I'm tilted, and do I have to just kind of grind through? What do you do? Kind of questions like that. So yeah, I've been getting those for the last, I'd say, ever since I streamed, so about 5 years now. So it's not nothing new, but yeah, a lot recently. I mean, it's always going to be like that. A lot of people always want to know these kind of questions. They always will.
Okay, let's go through it one at a time then. Let's really try and break this down. Do you want to start with free play or ranked? What should we start with, Jack? I mean,
let's start with free play. I mean, we're in free play right now. We're going to be playing free play for this video in the background. Hopefully, you guys don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about free play then. So free play is something that a lot of pros have used to improve. A lot of pros even are known to have used this more than ranked. Thinking about pros like Justin for years, never really a ranked player, never a player you'd see high up on the too many leaderboards, like 2's leaderboards. So I think he is often rank 1 in 3v3. Not really a game mode that many pros are active in game. But yeah, Justin's very known for free play. Who else is known for free play?
Daniel is probably the main one right now in my opinion. Doesn't play all too much ranked, and just but always has pretty high hours from what I know, and does a lot of free play. So yeah, I would say him. Recently, when I kind of go into like RCS tournaments, I actually switch to free play a lot compared to ranked, but I'll still get a decent amount of ranked games in just to kind of keep the games up, and obviously for content and stuff. So but I do play a lot of free play as well.
Yeah. So free play, let's think about why is it effective, because some people just they do it because that's what pros do, that's what pros say to do. But one of the reasons it's effective is because you get to hit the ball more. You're not sharing possession with your teammate, you're not sharing possession with opponents. You get more touches, you get more hits, you get to read more bounces. So it can be an efficient way to practice actually just hitting the ball and reading where the ball is going to go.
Yeah.
Off of different surfaces. It's the same reason why 1v1 is effective. You get more of the ball. You get more touches. You get more of everything, more challenges than you do in 2's or 3's, especially more than 3's. When you're playing 3's ranked, especially if you're solo queuing, you get way exponentially less time on the ball because you have to play around your teammates a little bit more a lot of the time. And some of you will probably feel that when you're playing, that your teammates are, you need to babysit them. That's a common theme. When you're babysitting, you're usually like following up, or you might be covering them, and that's not, although that's a good skill to have as well, it's not practicing mechanics, it's not practicing control, we're not practicing being active on the ball. So one of the things with that in mind that free play is very good for is getting that on ball practice if you don't enjoy 1v1. We do recommend 1v1 because you get to practice challenges, you get to practice actually outplaying someone real. In free play, you're having to imagine where players would be when you're playing. But if 1v1 just really is not for you, if you've tried it many times and you just cannot get into it, then free play might be the way. Free play might
Yeah.
be the best thing for you. But yeah, maybe just on a day where 1v1's going badly as well, you could just go free play for that day instead, because you just don't feel like one's not going well for you. Can't win a kickoff, whatever it is. Maybe you'll just come back to ones later. Free play is going to be very good for those types of players, I think, Jack.
Yeah, definitely. And the main question of like, what exactly should I kind of be practicing in free play? That's like the main one. We get asked and has been asked for years. That's very different, kind of depending on the person, of course. We can't just give one answer and say you all should be practicing this one thing in free play, because it depends on your strengths. It depends on what you're practicing right now in game. And that's the main kind of point that I'm going to talk about is to know what you have to or want to practice in free play. You need to know what you want to improve on in general in your game. So that's where a lot of players actually fail to kind of even begin, in my opinion, is that they don't understand their strengths and weaknesses and what they want to work on. So I always, when I was kind of ranking up and going through the ranks in ones, I was very ones focused. I wanted to rank up in 1v1. So I would watch a lot of Johnny's videos actually on 1v1 show matches and players like Scrub Killer playing ones show matches and destroying everyone. And I was trying to learn what they do, trying to copy what they do and figure out what their strengths was that even the best players in the world couldn't defend, for example. So that's what helped me know what to practice in free play. I became extremely focused on flicks. I just liked flicks, so I would drill flicks over and over again. This was when I was on console. I didn't have back mod. I couldn't put the ball on top of my car like this. So from the free play spawn, I would just do this and just flick it over and over again. I'd get a bad flick and just go again. And I would do this until I can hit a flick top corner, 10 times in a row. And if I don't do it 10 times in a row, for example, I won't leave free play until I do it. Of course, there's time restraints and stuff like that. You can't just go all day, every single day. But doing stuff like that for me was how I learned best. So you have to figure out, one, what you want to practice. Very important. You all know that anyway. But two, also how you practice the best. Some players, Johnny, are going to practice the best like me, where we just do the exact same thing over and over again. And I enjoy that because I enjoy repetition of things. I enjoy seeing that kind of improvement gradually of something that I was decent at the start of the session, and now at the end of the session I'm feeling really good and I'm firing on it every single time. Other people prefer kind of the new aspect of things, so they might prefer dribbling workshop maps, where there's kind of new things around them to keep them focused and excited about their practice. For example, I'm a little boring. I enjoyed free play and just literally doing this over and over again, smashing flicks into the crossbar as you just saw there. So yeah, both those things. What you want to practice, how you can figure that out is watching pro players, watching your own games, seeing where things go wrong and always thinking about what you need to work on next. And two, figuring out how you practice best. That's just going to be based on what you find the most fun. Because Johnny, we were saying this in the Discord actually, or I think you did as well, and I kind of echoed that statement the other day, is that you're going to improve the most in the thing that you have the most fun in. It's just really, it's really a thing that if I had to give one piece of advice, that's pretty true to everyone. You do improve quickest in what you enjoy the most, because you're going to be more focused, you're going to have more fun, and you're going to enjoy it regardless of the outcome, which kind of separates that like part of your mind where it's like, oh, I have 40 minutes. If I don't improve in this 40 minutes of time playing, I've wasted this kind of session. Whereas if you enjoy it, you've not wasted it anyway. So it kind of shifts that mindset and allows you to play a little more freely and improve a bit quicker.
Yeah, it's kind of like the saying, the best workout is the one that gets you to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they want to go to the gym, they want to get in shape in real life, and then they can't really find the motivation to go there because they're almost like afraid of what they're going to need to do when they get to the gym. But then they finally find a workout they enjoy and they're excited to go. Now there's no thought about, okay, will I go? It's like, okay, can't wait to get in there and work out, because they're doing what they enjoy. So if you're practicing what you enjoy, you identify, like Jack said, what you want to improve on or what you need to do to get better. If you could find a way to make those two things the same thing, then you're going to want to practice it. You're not going to need to be disciplined and set aside X amount of time every day. It'll just happen naturally because you're going to want to do it. Now, we've broken down a lot of the videos in the Next Rank course, and even the ones in the free course, which you would have actually seen the quick flick practice there that Jack was showing a minute ago. We've broken a lot of the free play practice down. Some of them are workshops, some of them are actually more of them are training packs than workshop, but there's a couple of workshops, a lot of training packs, and a lot of free play when we're talking about improving in mechanics. So if you do want some guidance on those, just check the course, and you can find which ones we recommend free play practice for, and even see demonstrations of Jack showing how to practice all of these things in free play. But you can practice, I mean, if we're going to just break down just overall subheadings, you can practice most movement and recoveries in free play. So those are things that Jack's doing right now. Every time he's moving, you'll see him wave dashing, you'll see him flipping, and trying to just generally move around the pitch quickly. And even though he's got unlimited boost, he'll still be pathing over boost pads. That's something else you can be mindful of. You can turn off unlimited boosts in free play if you want to find out how your boost management is. We don't really recommend playing free play with limited boost very often. For some things we do, but this will be an interesting one for you guys. If you're constantly running out of boost while you're in free play, that is a problem because there's nobody fighting you for the boost pads. It should be easy to have pretty much constantly close to 100 boost when you're free play. So that's something Jack won't have an issue with. So you can just turn on unlimited and not worry about it. But if you want to find out, that's one thing you can do. Anything to do with dribbling, you can do in free play pretty much. Anything to do with off the wall aerial plays, you can also do in free play. In fact, that might be a more advisable thing than getting the perfect setup in a training pack every time for an air dribble or a ceiling shot. Setting up your own is more close to what will happen in game. You're not always going to have that perfect setup, so knowing how to hit the ball into the wall to get it to go up into an air dribbling position is very useful, rather than just having it roll perfectly, which, although useful initially to skip that bit and get to the practice for the air dribble, once you know how to do that, it is good to just do it yourself and see what happens. You might hit the ball a bit too hard. Now you're not air dribbling, you're going for a ceiling shot. You might hit it a bit too softly. Now you're faking cutting in field for a dribble. Being able to adapt, being able to just go with the flow is a lot of the time what happens in free play as well, because just like when you're playing in games, you're not going to get perfect touches every time. You're not going to always get the touch you want. You have to be able to roll with it anyway and just come up with a solution.
Absolutely, and that's actually one of the best kind of pieces of advice you can give to a lot of players in free play. I'd say a champ and above, because below champ, it's you just want to be practicing kind of individual mechanics. Once you get to champ, you're kind of starting to combine a lot of mechanics together and be more flowy as a player. That sounds stupid, but you're flowing more, you're recovering quicker, and things are kind of meshing together a little bit better, in my opinion, once you get to kind of around that rank. And that's one of the best pieces of advice in free play, to always think about what you're going to do after your next touch. That's the thing, because a lot of players don't think about that. They go, what am I doing with, this touch? I'm just going to hit it hard. But then they don't think about why they're hitting hard, what they can do to follow it up, and how they can recover best. So every touch that you guys see a pro player get in free play, they're trying to follow it up. They're also thinking about their recovery and going again as fast as possible. Now, of course, that's a lot of, kind of information to do, and it takes a lot of skill. But if you can practice your recoveries, like Johnny said, in free play, and kind of include it together with mechanics, that's when you're going to be, kind of hitting that flow state, a lot of players like to call it, and just kind of being able to improve your speed, which is one massive thing that free play can help with as well. Kind of a drill that a lot of players enjoy doing in free play, and it improves a couple of things, is kind of the drill of just hitting every single ball hard off of every wall. Sorry, that not like that. Off of like side walls and stuff, and it practices speed, and also it practices being able to hit the ball extremely quickly out of any position. Getting the max amount of power on every touch, because a lot of ranks are going to improve basically off of learning how to hit the ball harder. In all honesty, it's one of the biggest kind of skills in Rocket League, is being able to hit the ball at maximum speed out of every angle that's coming at you. So a lot of players enjoy doing these style of what's called of training methods in free play. So figuring out what's best for your training, what you want to do, whether it's flicks, whether it's increasing your speed, increasing how hard you can hit the ball. There's going to be different kind of training methods you can do, like this one, or the one I showed you where you're just flicking mindlessly over and over again. But Johnny, free play.
Flicking mindfully over and over
mindfully,
again.
Not mindlessly, sorry.
I wanted to add something here as well, as the reading of the bounces. I mean, you're making it look quite easy because you've done this many times, but if you haven't tried this, just hitting the ball off corner walls, side walls, back walls, Jack isn't even jumping preemptively for a lot of these, but he's in the right position when he's hitting the ball into the wall. It's something that you guys will need to learn, because I know it's a problem for many players where they get stuck underneath the ball after misreading it. Being able to keep the ball in front of you, timing your arrival to just get another hard hit is very difficult. So this is a great drill to practice. If this is too difficult, you could try just lining up one read where you hit the ball into the side wall once. Just try and read that one and don't really worry about the next one. Then you can add to it, see how many times you can get a booming touch into a wall, read the bounce so you're there for the next bounce. And you can also practice reading the bounce as quickly as possible and fast aerialing for the ball, because very often when the ball hits the side wall in a game, or the back wall or the corner wall, the next touch will be a race, if you're in twos or threes especially. So booming the ball into just any wall and then trying to get to the ball as quickly as possible, whether it's a low flight with a dodge, whether it's a fast aerial, whether it's just driving along the ground and dodging again. That's a really valuable thing to do. Also, I've been really enjoying actually doing it into corner wall specifically. You can reset and just chip it into the corner wall from the kickoff position, and then just try and read that bounce as quickly as possible, score a goal. Because that's actually a really difficult position to score from. Yeah, exactly like that. It's a very hard position to score from. So being able to do that will drilling things like that, hitting the ball into one wall, then trying to score, hitting the ball into one wall, trying to hit the backboard. Yeah. These are really, really important things to grind. You're working on hitting the ball and reading a bounce and being quick all at once, which is a great combination of skills.
Yeah, exactly. It's again, it goes back to that point of trying to mesh things together is kind of the only thing that comes to mind to explain it. Combining certain skills, combining mechanics. That's really what free play is about. I think the only other thing about free play is people ask, how much compared to ranked, and we can kind of segue into ranked, I think, from here. How much free play compared to ranked should I be playing? How much of a warm up, specifically, are we looking at? Now, warm up is different, for everyone. I personally recommend, kind of everyone watching this, the average, player that's going to be getting on the game, to do a warm up every single time. Depending on how much time you have to play the game. If you have 30 minutes to play the game, spend 5 of it warming up in free play. If you have 2 hours to play the game, spend 10 to 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes warming up in free play. I really do think it's valuable in kind of increasing your consistency and making sure you're playing well when you go into ranked. A lot of people enjoy casual for that, for that aspect. I personally never touched it, so I can't really speak to that. I would personally just avoid that, but if it really works for you, then it's completely fine. Everyone's gonna be different. But yeah, warm up, I would say make sure you do one. Keep it light for the most part, and keep it to things that your strengths are, in my opinion, and maybe a couple things that you're working on. You should always be warming up your strengths, so you go into ranked feeling good, feeling positive about how to beat your opponent with what tools you have in game. So yeah, warm up, keep it light, but make sure you do one. In terms of the amount of free play compared to ranked, and Johnny, I'm going to kind of jump ahead here. When I'm playing bad in ranked, do I grind through it or do I stop playing? That's kind of where free play can come in. If I'm like just losing every ranked game, some people will tell you, your rank never matters. Never think about your rank, and you're just going to improve massively and always improve. But if you're losing every single game, you're going to be drilling certain bad habits into your game at certain points, else you wouldn't be losing those games. So you do have to be careful with, in my opinion, overplaying when you're losing, Johnny, and not just kind of mindlessly continuing to play. And that's where free play can come in and give you a bit of a reset after ranked losses and stuff like that. Spending a few minutes or spending all of your remaining time in the game in free play can be a good way to just kind of break out that habit and get some decent practice back in.
I've got another question for you, Jack, about the warm-up specifically, because as someone who never really warmed up too much, I'm not someone who competes in Rocket League. I just play for fun, and I mostly play with my friends in 2s or 3s. So usually when I'm getting in the game, it's because somebody says, "Hey, do you want to play 2s?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I just jump in the game, and we're in a game. So that's my experience with it. But sometimes somebody goes AFK. Sometimes you've got a long queue, and that can be kind of a stay warm kind of moment for a lot of people, myself included. You're a free play person now, but do you think there's ever any merit to using training packs in those gaps, or as a warm up even, instead of free play? What kind of training packs in that context would you recommend being useful?
Definitely, yeah. I loved back in like champ, I think I was around there, like redirects were the main thing that everyone wants to get good at. It was like if you could get good at redirects, like it's just the best shot in the game at the time that you can pull off, kind of thing, in that rank. And they're still really satisfying to pull off in every rank. This was before we had backs mod where you could fling the ball to you for, let's say, a redirect or something similar to it. I would still say, even with backs mod in the game, stuff like this is nice to do with backs mod, but can just be done really well in training packs. So anything that's like aerial based is really nice in training packs. Double tap setups, the main one being, oh god, I'm queuing. No, I didn't want to do that. The main one being double tap playground here. This is it's a fun one. This is an awesome training pack, just because double taps are like, you can set them up in free play yourself, but it's just a lot harder. So aerial based kind of mechanics, I would always recommend to use training packs for stuff like this, redirects as well, and double
open
taps.
Aerial ones where it's like far away from the wall and you're on the ground, because anything off the wall obviously is free playable. But when it's in the middle of the pitch,
it's
like
hard
this,
to set up.
Very hard to get the ball like that and also be in position like you are here.
I think it's actually impossible, at least with my current free play backsmod settings. But like getting stuff like this, just from these exact positions, really tough. It is really tough. So yeah, I always recommend double tap playground and just redirect kind of training packs for the training packs. That's really all I'd recommend, and maybe shooting ones. Some shooting training packs. This one's
or just I guess if you're not at the redirect or double tap stage yet, the just straight up aerial shot is totally fine as well. I'm with you on this, and I think the reason is, I think it's really important what you said, just something that'll make you feel confident, make you feel good. Because if we're about to compete, you don't want to go and practice something or warm up doing something that you're just going to fail 50 times in a row.
Exactly.
And then go in feeling like you're terrible. You want to be confident, so doing something like Jack avoids open net training packs like the plague before he plays ranks. He doesn't want to like crush all of his confidence before playing. So yeah, we're quickly getting out of that one that he was just in. Don't want to see that. If you want to think of it another way, especially if you're playing 3s, there will be opportunities every now and then to make a big aerial play or a double tap happen, but they are kind of few and far between, and you want to seize that when they do come along. That's like a double whammy for people, because one, you might just score and help your team win the game, but two, those are like, let's be honest, a lot of the reason that people want to play the game is to score a good goal.
Absolutely.
And they want to send it to all their friends. That's normal and even encouraged. So warming up those moments, so that when they come along, you can get that shot, you can feel motivated and feel good about yourself. All the more reason to practice, like just a couple of double taps, couple of redirects, couple of aerials, whatever it is, just something cool to stay warm, or to do a quick warm up before jumping on with the boys. Because I'm not going to be like, all right, I can play Rocket League, but give me 30 minutes. I've got to go grind booming the ball right at free play. My mates will be like, are you serious? Like,
I guess
they'd be like, just get in here, you idiot. Like, we just want to play.
I guess that's where it changes a little bit. Like, I always played for like the enjoyment, but I got my enjoyment out of winning, ranking up, and improving.
And also soloing, solo queuing a lot, mostly, I would guess.
Yeah, solo queuing a lot, but if I was duo queuing, I'd be duo queuing with players that like would really want to win, like players that I've been duo queuing with players in champ that are now players I compete against nowadays, years later in RCS. So those players, like, you can just tell, I guess I mean, it's obviously a bit of luck that we all did that and came up together, but there was something to it where they were really wanting to win, really wanting to improve. And so yeah, queuing with like-minded players, which is actually I guess a thing we can really quickly talk about. Solo queue versus duo queue, kind of what's best. Now, Johnny, I mean, we recommend duo queue a lot for for ranking up and stuff like that, because it is easier to play with a teammate, right? And it is nicer to play with a teammate that you understand, more fun.
Easier to not get tilted is an underrated aspect, because you're much more likely to give the benefit of the doubt to your teammate you're deliberately queuing with than when you're playing with a random. Your brain looks for reasons to blame them, even if there isn't really anything they did wrong. You're still going to come up with something, and you just cope out of your own responsibilities. Yeah,
exactly. And no, definitely. That is an issue. I mean, that's just something that you have to get used to in solo queue and avoid, unfortunately. But
happens in pro play as well. Like I'll be watching the streams. Even I'm sure I'll watch your stream, Jack. You're in a team queue with someone. You've pre-made queue to somebody. They'll be so given so much liberty to mess up, and it's like, all good. I should have been there. Now as soon as it's a random. Yeah, they better not miss the ball.
That's true. I mean, pros, we're the most toxic out of a bunch of Rocket League players. That's the thing. But I don't show it to them. At least I don't quick chat my teammates. Some pros do. Some pros do. They're most pros do. They're ruthless. But
they're typing.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I keep it in my mind, at least, if I am annoyed. So it's normal to get annoyed. Try not to get frustrated in quick chat. It can make your teammate play worse. But in terms of solo queue versus duo queue, I think having a mix, Johnny. I think duo queue is going to be better for ranking up, and I think it's important to get that time in duo queue as well, because it can just be more fun. Like, that's very important. I think solo queue is also very important to make you understand how to play with different play styles, and how to learn how to carry, for example, which is genuinely a very important skill, to know how to kind of carry players who are playing bad on your team who you're not used to, because that is something you're going to have to do eventually, and it's going to make you a better player. So having a bit of a mix, but make sure you duo queue as well, and not only solo queue, because you can meet like-minded people that, who knows, later on, 5 years later, you might be competing against them in RCS.
You can do weird kickoffs as well. You can practice weird stuff.
True.
You can just you don't have to just rotate back and cover. You can just stay up for, just for it to experiment with like different kind of strategies. It's a totally different game. Even in 3, it's a totally different game when you team queue versus solo queue.
It is. I remember in I was Champ 2 at the time, or I think it was like Super Champ was what it was called back then. I was queuing with two players that they made it to like a bubble level, I think, or just before bubble level eventually a few years later. But we were queuing together, and I would just be like, I was scoring like 3 redirects a game, because you just understand how to play with them, and you find each other when you're teaming up in duo queue, or in this case we were 3 people queuing with each other in 3s, and you're just finding each other. You're scoring nice passing plays, so it can help you learn certain parts of the game, like that team aspect, a little bit better. So yeah, definitely recommend both of them in an even amount. I'd say I would lean towards solo queuing a little bit more personally. That's just because
that's interesting.
But it's because I do think it's really important to develop your ability to carry games. I think it's like one of the most important things if you want to improve if you want to eventually play at your highest level you can. I think it's very important to know how to carry. So solo queue I really recommend. But
we might have to make a video on that, actually, how to carry. Do you guys? So if you guys do want a video of how to carry, because I agree, it's a very important thing to be able to do in Rocket League. I know you're probably thinking, what, Johnny, you can't carry? You've never carried anyone. Listen, if you put me in a 1v1 scenario in a 2s game and I don't score, I'm mad. I'm mad. I've got so many go-to moves to score goals when those 1v1 scenarios come up. Like, that's to me what carrying will be. That's a tangent though. If you guys want to hear us talk about that, because I know Jack's got a lot of advice, a lot of good advice.
Make your teammate minions going to be my main advice. Just go behind them, get them to press jump for you, and then you just get a free ball every time. That's like
I've got the non-mechanical. Listen, carrying with no mechanics. I swear, like I've got the blueprints for that.
Huh?
So if you guys want that video, let us know. We won't turn this into a 30-minute tangent right now, though, as much as we could. We easily could. Well, let's stay on topic. So to finish off the conversation about ranked and tilt, mindless gameplay, that kind of thing. That's something we've all experienced. We've all had those sessions where you can't get a win. You just can't seem to get a teammate who's got their monitor turned on. Like everything's just going wrong. How do you stop tilting in those situations, Jack? Do you go back to free play? Do you try and queue up with it? Do you look to see who's online? What's your plan if you're just having one of those sessions? Because it happens to everyone. You're going to lose 10 games in a row at some point, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's fine, but what do you do?
Right, yeah. I mean, it depends on the extent of your tilt, I guess, right? It's like, everyone has kind of different amounts of tilt they go to. Now, if you're not tilting too much, you're still wanting to play ranked, but you're just slightly annoyed, you can play through that. That's almost a skill to be able to play through that and just push yourself a bit. But I wouldn't try too hard to push yourself. If you're really not enjoying it anymore, like we spoke about earlier, you're going to improve the most in things you're having fun with. When you're tilted, I can get tilted. When I get tilted, I don't get annoyed at people. I get annoyed at myself, and I then can tilt queue and just lose a bunch of games. That's what can happen to me, and it has happened a lot. Now, is that a great thing? You can argue, oh well, even when he's losing, he's just playing to practice. But at certain points, you are going to be drilling bad habits into your game, and you need to understand more about yourself on kind of where that point is and when to stop, because it is important to know when to stop. It's as simple as that. There is no world where I'd say always queue even when you're not enjoying it, because at the end of the day, even if you're improving, if you're not enjoying it, which you won't be improving, by the way, if you're just losing every game and tilting, like even if you're not, and then you're not also not enjoying it, it's just a waste of time. So reset, go on a different game. Don't even touch the game for today or maybe even tomorrow if you don't want to. That's completely fine. All these things are what pros do, by the way. These aren't like things that pros don't do and they just push through it. The amount of times where a great player, one of the best in the world, one of the highest in ranked, gets on, their teammate throws their game, and I see them get off the game and go on FIFA, is the amount of times I see that is crazy. Like it's a lot. So like even pros, dude. Yes, yeah. You even see it. You see it more at pro level because I guess I don't know. They get annoyed quicker because their MR means more to them, kind of thing. For like even though you
it's also their job. So I mean, when it's your job, it's no longer. It's a different vibe. It's, So like you have to really focus on improving. Like And actually being motivated and being disciplined, it's hard for sure. The point is that like even pros don't just queue through tilt, so don't force yourself to. Now, whenever I got tilted, whenever I was losing a lot of games, if I was still feeling good and if I was still enjoying ranked, because I can when I'm losing games, I can still enjoy it. I can still feel like I'm improving, playing well, to an extent. I could carry on. I might switch game modes, which is what I recommend. Luckily, I always enjoyed ones, so I could switch between ones and twos very easy, very quickly. And it relies on different things, so you might be able to win in one game mode and not the other, for example. However, if I really wasn't enjoying myself, I would maybe go to free play. If I could tolerate that and if I wanted to play that. And I'd still work on some stuff, still try to improve some stuff. Look, if I hated the game, I'd get off and go on a different game or just get off and go out or something. Very, very rare. Pro players don't touch grass, but I would do something else. So I don't recommend just to kind of grind don't tilt
through
queue. Don't tilt queue. It's not worth it. Especially if you're a pro and you've got a big event coming up and you have to play the game. You might have to just tilt queue sometimes. Even then, though, Jack's suggested alternatives that sound smarter. But you might have to because it's your job. Queue or load up the game when you don't want to. But if it's not your job, if you're not a pro, you're not trying to be a pro, then you're a recreational player like myself, by the way. I'm not going to play Rocket League if I'm not enjoying it. I want to enjoy it, and I do enjoy Rocket League. I love playing Rocket League with my friends. Because love playing ranked because it's a good amount of competitiveness for me. But if we're not enjoying it, if it's just a bad day, and sometimes it could even just be hardware related. You're just having an issue with your graphics card or something. Don't be one of those people coping every time you concede there's a frame drop. I'm not saying like that, but yeah, there are genuinely just issues that are making Rocket League unenjoyable. Your controller might be malfunctioning in some way. Or a key on your keyboard might be broken. I was playing once and my shift key completely broke. Couldn't power slide, couldn't air roll. I'm not going to change the keybind and relearn that. I'm just going to wait until I've got a new keyboard and then I'll play Rocket League again. If it's not fun, there's no point. And I know a lot of you watching this video do want to improve, whether or not you're a pro or ever want to be. You do want to get better at the game. You're not going to get better as efficiently if you're not enjoying it. So definitely find ways to enjoy it, experiment. Maybe save those replays where you're on a massive losing streak. Take a look later when you're in a good mindset. See if there's any obvious mistakes that you're making. You'll probably notice them once you've calmed down, slept on it, gone back, and you're thinking, okay, yeah, I'm way too close to my teammate. Need to cooperate space a bit more. I'm just confusing them. Whatever it is. We've got tons of strategy videos in the next rank that you guys can take a look at for inspiration, because if you don't know what you're not doing, you're not sure what you're doing wrong, then just grab one of the videos and see if you know it. We've actually had a lot of high-rated players, SSLs, GCs, saying that the simple videos, the foundational videos in the next rank course have helped them the most so far. Some players haven't even got to the advanced and the elite stuff yet. They're just in the foundation bit and they're learning a lot, which is great. So don't completely chalk up those tilt sessions, losing sessions as pointless, because there might be something you can learn from it. You might be able to learn your tendencies that you do have when you're tilted and then work on eliminating them.
Absolutely. Even when I was having bad sessions, losing MMR and stuff like that, you can still take a positive away from it. And I think that's the last point I want to end on personally, is that it is important to kind of try to take both positives and negatives out of honestly every session you're playing Rocket League in, if you're truly focused on improving. Even sessions where you're winning a ton of games, you can always have done something better. And as long as you don't let that mindset kind of eat your kind of brain out and go super I'm always making a mistake, I'm never playing well, because that's what some players can do, that that mindset of it's too self-critical. Then you can always be looking at stuff to improve, and you're always going to find things no matter how your session went. But the last thing I want to say as well is truly be kind of conscious and proud of your rank, I guess. And if you are just dropping 150 MMR in one session, let's just stop queuing, because it is important to to be kind of happy with where you're at in rank, so you can take confidence from that and play better in the future. It's an investment. And stuff like that.
Losing MMR is an investment in easier opponents. If we're investing in easier opponents, then you want your rank. Yes, we're actually investing. I'm a big-time ranked investor. I lose MMR, I get easier opponents. It's very, very consistent method of winning, because the opponents are worse. So if you think about it like that, you never lose. But yeah, hopefully you guys have learned something from this video. I don't really have anything else to add on the topic of free player ranked. Personally, I think I'm quite happy to leave it at that. But if you guys have got any other, if you've enjoyed this style of video where we're just making, I guess it's somewhere between a podcast and Subway Surfers with Jack and free play. If you guys like this kind of thing, let us know in the comments. Let us know what other types of videos you guys want to have in this kind of style. Because this is really, we can do this for hours. We could genuinely just go down so many rabbit holes. We have to stop ourselves. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Check out the next rank course. Check out thenextrank.com/free if you haven't already. Free course we put out, a free mini course, which we want to put out more of those. Actually, Jack, I don't know if I've actually mentioned this yet. I want to make a kickoff one. I've told my live stream I want to make a little free kickoff course. So that's coming soon. Be on the lookout. And any other stuff like that. Discord is a great place to catch us. The Next Rank Discord is where we got the the idea to make this video in the first place.
Yeah.
Couple comments, like I mentioned at the start of this video, from Shatfi.
Something like that, I think.
Shaffi?
Yeah, Shafty.
Shafty. It is actually Shatfi, but yeah, or Sha7Fi. Not sure I'm supposed to say your name. As well as AJ Force. Thank you to you guys and all the other people. I know it's a common question in the Discord, like Jack mentioned earlier. These questions, we have channels for them, so you guys can prompt us of videos you do like. If you see somebody else suggest one you do like, react to it, so we know what you guys are wanting us to make.
Definitely. Guys, if you have enjoyed, make sure you drop a like, drop a sub to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.